Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mills and this is my fiance,
Christopher. In this video, we're gonna talk about the K-1 visa process.
Yeah, so we are finally approved. I'll get to all the details, but we applied from the Dominican Republic. He's Dominican, I'm American. And today we're just gonna give you a rundown as promised of the process, and we'll make more detailed videos about like each section of the process coming up, but I wanted to get one up before we forget all the details about like a rundown of the whole thing. If you like my video on my channel, if you can give a thumbs up, comment, subscribe would be even better. That would be awesome. Share it with your friends. Maybe you know someone in the visa process, and we'll try to make this super helpful for them because we were both like so clueless when we like decided to do this visa.
In 2017, in August 2017, and we decided to get the visa after doing some research and finding out that this is the best way to do it, which is for me not.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, so talked to a lawyer and she said this is the best way to do it, like the most like legal way possible. So we follow that way instead of like marrying in a B1, B2 visa, which is the visitor visa that I had.
Oh yeah.
So she lived in the DR for 2 years, 1 in Jarabacoa and 1 year with me. And we applied for the K1 in November 2018.
Yeah, well, we decided to apply in about November. We did like 3 consultations with lawyers, like free phone call things just to gather info. And then we went with a certain lawyer that's like a suggestion through my parents, their lawyer. And that's pretty much why we went with them. We weren't going to use a lawyer, but our case was very straightforward. So I think that we could have done it without one. However, we're not completely done with the process yet, and I'll get into more about that later, but I think that's where our lawyer will come in like the most help. Not to say she wasn't helpful. So we decided to apply in November. We did all of our research. In December, we sent in our I-29F. This is the first packet that you send in. That is like the very first step of this whole process. And it's something that the person from the United States fills out. So it's all of your information, or in our case, my information. Once I came here for Christmas to Arizona, we went to the lawyer's office. I read through like all of the I-29F packet, made sure everything was correct because you do not want to miss even one box. If you don't check a box that's supposed to be checked, you'll get what's called RFE, like request for further evidence. And that can slow the process down by a month to even more.
We filed the application in December 18th, and we got the NOA 1 on December 24th.
So that did not take very long. You get a paper notification in the mail that they received your application, and it's called the NOA 1. So that's really where everything starts. Like they've gotten your application, and you know it made it to the USCIS office, which is United States Center for, I don't know, it's like the immigration office. So they got your paperwork, right? And then begins like the long wait. I think we found out earlier that they received it because you can go online and check the status, or we got an email maybe that we got the NOA 1, but it of course takes a little bit longer to get the actual physical paper copy in the mail and save that form because you'll need it later. So once you get it in the mail, save it.
So we waited 5 months to get the NOA 2, which is the approval of the K-1 visa, of the petition. And we got a little nervous because it was 5 months, and we were like, she was in a lot of like groups, like K-1 visa groups.
Yeah.
And she was like, she was seeing like all these people getting approved in like 1 or 2 months.
Yeah.
And we would be like super nervous like every day, and we had the application in our phones to check the status of the approval, and we would like be on it like 4 or 5 times a day.
Literally.
So it was like
long wait.
Yeah.
I would call all the time. I wouldn't suggest calling USCIS all the time every day, but after like 3.5 months, I started being like, okay, what's going on? Is there an issue? Because pretty much after the NOA1, the next step is to get NOA2. And that's just like when someone reviews your case. During this whole process, your application is at USCIS, literally just sitting on someone's desk. They get randomly assigned to an officer, and it's kind of frustrating because you never know, like, if someone's even looking at your case, if it made it to someone's desk. I always joked that like whoever had ours was like on vacation for a month and just had it laying on their desk, or it was on the bottom of the pile. Like, basically during this time, that's when you can get a request for more evidence, asking for anything from like you missed something to you need to provide more evidence. Now, luckily we did not get one because our lawyer, luckily, she like had all of the information that we needed. We sent in way more than you need with the application. So you need the I-29F, and then you should provide some other like supporting documents to prove your relationship. We needed to send in like my birth certificate to prove I'm a US citizen, as well as we sent his passport, my passport, like a copy of every page. And then you don't need to send a bunch of pictures and letters and stuff. That's later for the interview, but we did. We sent like, I think we sent like 20-ish pictures of us through from like the beginning of our relationship to present time. We sent letters, we sent screenshots of like my flights back and forth, any kind of like extra evidence we could. And we also did our conversations, which I sent her a zip file of our WhatsApp conversations, and how long did she say it was?
It was like 4,000 pages of conversation of ours.
I don't
know why, but
because we're in love.
That's what it is.
Yeah, so she was like, okay, I'm gonna take little like screenshots of maybe like once a month for your whole relationship, just so they can see that you stay in communication. And it wasn't just like you talked a couple times and decided that you wanted to do the visa. And then we also sent in, you need to send letters of intent to marry. So each of us sent a letter saying a little bit background of our relationship and that we intend to get married within 90 days of the visa, which is what you have to do for it to qualify. But we also got my mom to write a letter. We got his sister, my best friend. I think that was it. We got all of them to write.
And ours.
Yeah, and ours. We got all of our letters together, kind of proving our relationship, that other people in our family know about it, support it. All of us got it notarized, so we kind of went like a little bit crazy just because we didn't want to slow it down the process with an RFE. I was in the group, and I still am, of like K-1 visa on like Facebook and WhatsApp, and a lot of people are getting approved really quickly. Now, what I realized, or what we figured out, is 2019, they're processing way faster. So I'm pretty sure there's people still from 2018 waiting. Actually, I know for a fact. But 2019, even the people that applied in January, February, March, April are getting approved. May, like it's 3 months now for almost all the cases that I'm seeing, at least. Of course, I'm not an officer. It's just what people post is what I'm seeing, but it's way faster.
So we were in the States in May. We went to a wedding in Florida in May 17th, and we got back in May 23rd. Yeah. May 23rd, and we were like super nervous in that trip, and we were like wondering like when we would be approved. And then when we came back to the DR, we like started like calling like right away. We called like,
oh yeah, that's how we found out. I called.
We called like a couple of times, and then
every day. And you're on hold for like an hour, so
yeah. So we called, and then she said that we were approved as of like that day before or something, or the day, like the Friday.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. And I was like, are you serious? Like, what? I love you. And this girl's like, okay, like you're crazy. And then we're like so happy, literally crying. Then after this long 5-month wait, everything goes faster.
So after your case get approved, your case needs to be shipped to the NVC, the National Visa Center, and then after that, after the National Visa Center receives your case, you need to go to the medical. You need to do the medical. You need to set an appointment for the VAC, the Visa Application Center, to get your pictures and your
Fingerprints.
and your fingerprints. And after that, pretty much you can set an appointment for your interview with the embassy.
Yeah, so it gets.
How long did that take?
Yeah, it took 1 month exactly, almost, for our case for us to get the NOA2 and then to get the case number. So it ships to the National Visa Center, which don't even get me started about why they need to ship your case to a whole other place for a whole month to just assign a number to it. But I just really want to streamline this whole process. That took a month. We finally got our case number. You can call NVC as well. I got the case number on the phone. Once it's at the Visa Center, you'll get an update on the website, which is like ceac.gov. You can call as well. So I called. Usually after it arrives, it's like 5 days before you get the case number. Now, another annoying part is it ships out from NVC to your country's embassy, but it only ships out every other Tuesday. So this is really important when you're trying to schedule your medical interview or your interview at the embassy. You can't schedule it too early thinking that, oh, I have my case number, that the case will go out this week, it will be at the embassy. If you have an appointment and your application is not at the embassy, then I don't know, you need to reschedule, and usually appointments book up so fast, you're gonna be screwed. We schedule an appointment for VAC, you can do that right away once you have the case number, even if it's still at the Visa Center.
Yeah, the VAC appointment was just like 4 or 5 minutes.
It was so fast.
Yeah, I thought I first, like, we went to this place, and it was like a copy center of the VAC, and I thought it was the actual place, but it wasn't. It was like there was like 40 people, like 50 people there, and I was like, damn, we're gonna spend the whole morning here. And then I figured out it was like the next place, and it was like 4 or 5 minutes. It was like super fast. And
that was in Santo Domingo, so we had to take the bus from Santiago to Santo Domingo, where all of this happens. Then after you have that, really you don't even do anything with that. It's just for, I guess, the embassy. I know other countries don't even have this VAC appointment just for your picture and your fingerprints, but you do have to go. You'll set your medical appointment. So there's 2 different medical centers in Santo Domingo that you can choose from, and we chose the one that we found, like, that I heard was like chiller. That was, I think it was $265. That was like $275 for the medical exam. You have to pay. Can you pay with card? No. Yeah, you have to pay in cash.
Dollars or pesos.
Or pesos. Yeah. You can't bring any phones, any electronics in there. And where we went, they stopped taking people at 11 a.m., which is insane. So we took the bus from Santiago at like 6 in the morning to get there in time. And then you wait, and it's a long wait. I think he went, and then I had to work. So like I brought my computer to a cafe and was working, and I think it was like 3 hours total. And there weren't a lot of people there. So you wait. He had to pay when he picked up his medical results when we went back for the interview.
I pay for extra vaccines. I pay $105.
$105, yeah. So we had his vaccination records from when he was little and got all his shots, which was good, but he did need a few more, I guess, that weren't on there or something. But a lot of Dominicans like don't have their records, or like the hospital closes down. I hear that one a lot. So my recommendation to you is to go to a public hospital and get your vaccinations before you go to medical. a free public hospital, not a private clinic, and you get the vaccinations for free, so it saves you money. Well, after you get your case number, you can fill out your DS-160, which is online, and you can just like type right into the form and use that case number. There's a lot of like back and forth between whether you can use your original NOA1 number, because you do get a case number, or if it has to be your new NVC case number. It's supposed to be the case number, so we just, actually, this is funny. We waited until we got it, and then I literally used the other number because I'm dumb. But it was fine, there were no issues with that. It's a long form. Actually, do we have it? No, it's online. Mm-hmm. So you submit it online.
Yeah, that's the form that you fill out for any type of visa that you want, non-immigrant visa. Yeah. Any type of visa. So the fee for the DS-160 is, after you fill it out and then submit it, you have to pay. There's a webpage called ustraveldocs.us. That's the page where you manage all your appointments and stuff. So
yeah, $265.
After you submit the DS-160, you have to pay through that page, $265.
Yeah, so it's super expensive, just like hand in that form. Everything with this process is expensive. If you change your interview date like more than 2 times, then you have to fill out another form and you have to pay another $265. So yeah. Also, then you need the confirmation page from that to be able to go to your medical appointment. This is the DS-160. It's just like the confirmation page that you get. You have to upload a photo, or he did, before you submit it. And it's a very long application, but it's pretty easy to fill out. It's just really like common sense, and you can find templates online that tell you like, what does this question mean? What should I put for this? You bring that to medical with you. They can see that you filled out that form, and then remember, you don't need a medical appointment. You just show up, and this is for the Dominican Republic. You need to give like 2 weeks after your medical for your interview, because if your medical exam results are not ready to pick up, then you can't go to the interview, because that's one of the required documents, and they really do pick that up. There are some papers they say are required and they don't look at, but they collected yours, right? Yeah, because if you fail the medical, then you can't go to the States. You need to like do a treatment or whatever it is.
Yeah, you have to be like healthy.
Yeah.
To come here.
The earliest appointment that we could get for the interview was August 22nd. We were like freaking out about that because our wedding is at the end of September. So we were like, oh my gosh, that's cutting it close, because it can be 5 days to 2 weeks to, I've seen cases get stuck in administrative processing after the interview for months. And we were like, oh man, we're gonna be either miss the wedding or we're gonna be cutting it very close and be going crazy trying to get everything finished.
So we were at the doctor and we were waiting for an appointment, and I just had a thought that I need to look on the page for an appointment. I saw one August 1st, mm-hmm. and then like I clicked that right away. Like I didn't even think about it.
Yeah,
I just clicked it. It was like 21 days like earlier.
We basically cut off a month, and I was like, what? How? Because you don't see like appointments open up so much earlier usually, but you know, maybe you do here and there because people inevitably have to cancel or move dates.
Yeah, I was at work and she was home, and she told me, oh, there's one for literally the day after tomorrow.
Yeah, July 24th.
And I said, well, this is an opportunity, let's do it. And then we booked that one, and then we went to the Capitol next day.
Yeah, that was like super stressful. I was like, okay, it's gonna be on my brother's birthday, July 24th. That's good luck. Let's do it. And again, like, we weren't in a rut. People, obviously, on my last video, someone was like, oh, you got sick of the DR. I knew you would. There's like a whole bunch of reasons why we came back and like why we're doing what we're doing. And it's not because of that. We went to the interview. We got an Airbnb, which I did in a live video a few videos back, so you could see it there. It was like $30 for the night, which was great. It was close to the visas, the US Embassy. I think it was like 5 minutes driving, so it was not bad at all. And our appointment was for 8 a.m. 8:15 a.m. and we got there at like
7:30.
Yeah, so you get there, you go in the middle line because that's for non-immigrant visas. Then you go through a metal detector. You can't bring any phones in, so we just left them in the Airbnb. And then you go wait in line to get your forms collected.
The DS-160?
Yeah.
The appointment confirmation?
Yeah, you have to print the appointment confirmation page, basically like the page in USA Travel Docs website that you're gonna set up a profile. This is where you do the DS-160. And you print out that, yeah, I have an appointment today, I didn't just show up. Police certificate, basically saying that you don't have a criminal record in the DR or any other countries you lived in. And the results of your medical exam, your passport, and I believe your birth certificate. And it needs to be the long birth certificate.
Acta en extensa. It has to be.
After like 30 minutes in that line, 45, it was pretty long. We were waiting in the line for a long time, and then they tell you where to sit. So you go around the corner, and that's like a huge room, all of these windows, and each window, it's like a bank teller. There's like dividers in between, and you sit in between the windows that they tell you. They told us like 19 to 29 or something, and then you just wait, and you have a number.
We sat there for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And your number, this is our number, and then they call you. They put the number on the screen, on a screen. They put that number on a booth that you need to go for the interview.
Yeah, so they're gonna be like number 88 to booth like 24 or whatever. So we were literally sitting there for 3 hours, and I was so nervous the whole time because you just don't know what to expect, you know, like it could go either way. In that moment, it's like all up to one person. And there was a girl in the group that I'm in on WhatsApp, and she was out like 2 hours before us. I saw her walking by and I recognized her. They got approved, which is great. And I was just like, oh my gosh, what's happening? So I was freaking out the whole time. Every time someone got approved, I mean, you can tell because there's like hundreds of people sitting in those chairs, staring at the windows. You see people go up and they're there for a little while. You can't hear them really unless they're talking loud. And then they leave, and you can obviously tell when people get approved or denied by their reaction.
Yeah, she cried every time someone got approved. So
or denied.
She was dramatic.
I was like, I am so emotional. So like someone would get approved. They had like a kid with them. Like everyone was so happy. I'm crying. Like so unstable for 3 hours. So that was fun. And they called us out finally. We got like all of them are American, the interviewers. We got a young-ish, he was pretty young, American guy. He was super nice. He literally asked like 6 questions. So this is what he asked. Yeah, first he asked us if we wanted to speak in English or Spanish. When we said English.
They asked me how long did I stay in December?
Oh yeah. So they asked him how long was his longest visit to the United States? And most people don't, or not most people, a lot of people don't have a passport when they start this process, so you won't get asked about any of your visits to the States. But he said 31 days, and then he just said, okay, tell me your story. And I was like, okay, I'll do this one. So I literally just gave like a quick rundown. I said that we met in June 2017. I was coming to teach for a year in Jarabacoa, so I was already gonna move here. And we started dating in August, like right when we met. And then I moved to Santiago for a year to live with him. And that's basically all I said. And he didn't cut me off, but I didn't know how far he wanted us to go. And he asked if we have wedding plans. We said yes, and Chris said that it's on the date it is at the end of September. And he asked where, and we said in Arizona, near my family. And then he asked what grade I taught or what I was coming to teach. I said 4th grade. And then he asked Chris what like what year he graduated from Pucamaima, which is the school, like he could see it on his screen, so what the university, and he was like, okay guys, everything looks good, you're approved. And we were like, what? Like it was so easy. And you hear horror stories of people like getting separated and asking like, what side of the bed does she sleep on? What's the color of her parents' bathroom? Like crazy stuff. But they didn't, luckily, because they didn't suspect anything. Now, if you have a large age gap, if you've only visited once or twice, if you don't have a lot of the evidence supporting your relationship and it's like validity, then you could get harder questions or get separated even. So we brought to the interview all of the documents that you need to bring, because of course, like if you don't bring something, they're gonna ask you for that one thing. So a photo album.
Yeah, these are pictures from us during like our entire relationship.
Yeah, and you have to write on the back who's in the picture, where the picture is taken, and when it was taken. Literally, there's just like, we have so many pictures, so many. He didn't even like glance at this. This binder, which was all of our like hard proof, and I separated it into like categories. So we have our birth certificates, both of our passports, every page. Make sure your passport is not expiring within 6 months. His was, so we had to get a new one. We have our letters of intent, and my mom's letter and his sister's letter. All of my like bank account information, because they need to ensure that the American citizen will support the spouse or the foreigner, the Dominican, while they're there. They don't want them going on like government assistance, so you need to make above the poverty line. But his bank account information, investments, like my last 3 years of tax returns, and then the affidavit of support, which they don't collect at the DR interviews, but some places they do. It's the I-134, and we're just gonna send this in with the adjustment of status, so it's good that we did it. And that's again like both of our information, and that like I can support him if needed. And then we put like letters that we wrote each other in like the past 2 years.
These are like pictures of our conversations on WhatsApp.
Yeah, like screenshots.
Flight reservations, letters for my company, more flights.
Yep.
More flights.
Yeah, and then marriage stuff. So like our wedding plans that we did, like premarital counseling, that we have our venue books and our DJ books already, and all of that. So they can see like that we have wedding plans. And yeah.
So after we got the visa, we got you have to leave your passport there, and then the passport came 1 week later. Mm-hmm. And then we booked our flights. You can choose to go back to Santo Domingo to pick it up or get it delivered. We chose get it delivered because since we lived in Santiago.
Exactly 1 week after the interview, the guy came to the house, and you have to pay $10 extra for that, but it was worth it. So we didn't like have to go back to the capital again. And then we left Thursday, so it came just in time. And yeah, now we're here. We have to get married within 90 days, and then you file the adjustment of status to change him from the K-1 to waiting for the green card. He can't work legally here until he gets the work permit, which can be like 3 months after the wedding. It can be expedited if you have a job offer, which is good. And then that comes with a travel permit too. Not sure if you can do like fun travel or if it's just for an emergency travel. Again, that's something I hear both answers from. And then the green card, we'll have another interview for that here, and that we should get within like 8 months. Hopefully like 8 months or less after the interview, but again, after the adjustment of status, like after we submit it, but again, you never know. And I heard that interview is like way more intense because now you're like married, you're both in the States. They want to make sure like it's a legitimate marriage and you're actually in love and this is real and you didn't come here just for whatever to come to the States. So that's pretty much a really long explanation of what happened beginning to end. I can do more detail on like the actual paperwork that you need or the evidence that you need or what kind of relationship you need or whatever. But yeah, we're happy to be here.
For the wait, we're pretty happy we are back here in the States so we can plan stuff for the wedding like more.
Yeah, and if you want to do the CR1 visa, which is you get married and then you just wait for the green card, and then right when he comes here you can work. That is a good one too. And if you live in the DR, it's even faster. Like I lived in the DR, my friend did that one, and it came beginning to end in like 4 months. Anyway, we've been talking forever, so I'm gonna try to cut this down as much as I can. Let me know any questions you have below. I'll answer them. I'll ask Chris if I don't know the answer. And we hope that this is helpful for you if you're in a similar process or kind of researching to start it. Thank you so much for watching. If you've gotten this far, stay tuned for more and hit subscribe. Thank you guys.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye-bye.